Ever wondered how we got from grunting at mammoths to crafting witty tweets? The answer, my friend, is a fascinating journey through the history of writing, and poetry was there for the ride, the whole weird ride. Welcome to our History Bites series. Today we are going to present you a somewhat hilarious history of writing, with poetry as the punchline, or how we got from cave scribbles to cat videos. Just imagine our prehistoric ancestors huddled around a fire, not just roasting boar, but also etching symbols on cave walls. These early scribbles, likely a mix of shopping lists, gotta remember, more berries, and dramatic insults towards Axel from Tribe B. Axel stole my favorite mammoth tusk, were the first steps towards writing. Fast forward a few millennia, and we have the Sumerians in Mesopotamia. These clever folks invented cuneiform, a writing system that involved pressing wedge-shaped tools into clay tablets. Think of it as the ultimate all-caps writing style, perfect for recording epic poems about, well, irrigation techniques mostly. At about the same time, the Egyptians were busy with hieroglyphics, because emojis weren't invented yet. Imagine that. These little picture symbols were like the original emojis, depicting everything from gods and goddesses to grocery lists. Seriously, people loved their grocery lists. Here's a haiku for you, ancient Egyptian style. Sun beats down so hot. Bring more figs, O servant Iaru. Scarabs for dessert. We must now set our sights on the east. In India, the Indus Valley civilization developed a writing system around 3300 BCE, with symbols etched on tiny seals. These haven't been fully deciphered yet, leaving us with a tantalizing glimpse into their early literature. Meanwhile, in China, the Shang dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BCE, used oracle bones, animal bones with inscriptions made through cracks caused by heating for divination and record-keeping. But the East wasn't just about practical writing. Both India and China have rich literary traditions dating back millennia. The Vedas, a collection of hymns and poems in India, are some of the oldest surviving works of literature. In China, the Book of Songs, a collection of poems from the 10th to 7th centuries BCE, covers everything from love and loss to agriculture and war. Let's move now to Europe and the ancient Greeks and Romans. This is the golden age of poetry. The Greeks and Romans were obsessed with crafting epic poems like the Iliad and the Odyssey, tales of heroes, monsters, and questionable life choices. These poems were basically the Game of Thrones of their time. Everyone knew the stories, everyone had an opinion, and bards recited them at fancy toga parties. Luckily for us, they didn't have the HBO screenwriters to destroy the Iliad or the Odyssey's last chapters. Fast forward again, and things get a bit religious. Too religious. We enter the Middle Ages with religious fanatics burning everything they dislike. Well, burning something was a big deal back then. In the age of collapsing empires, invasions, massive migrations, and population displacement. You know, an age of mayhem. Does that ring a bell? Just kidding, or not. Even though most of the masterpieces of European writings go to ashes, especially after the destruction of the huge Alexandria library, some ancient writings survive. Some scholars blame Caesar for the destruction of Alexandria's library, but Islamic scholars attribute it to Umar, who conquered the city in 641 AD. Some ancient texts survive by chance the religious fanatics who saw them as a danger to the new preponderant Christian and Islamic faiths. For example, in our time, we get to savor Plato's or Aristotle's works because some Arab scribes took the time to copy and translate them. In Europe, monks in monasteries became the main copywriters of the time, meticulously copying old texts by hand. Imagine spending years copying a poem about a sandal by candlelight. Not exactly the thrill-a-minute life. Interesting and truly transformational times we had in the Middle Ages. Then came the printing press, invented by Johannes Gutenberg in 1440. Suddenly, literature through books became more accessible, and a new literary form emerged, the novel. Poetry, bless its heart, started feeling a little left out, but not completely. We have the pleasure of introducing you to the Renaissance man at its best. We arrive at the time of William Shakespeare. This rock star of the Renaissance wasn't just writing plays, he was inventing words left, right, and center, looking at you, swaggery and zany. Imagine quill pens squeaking furiously as he crafted masterpieces like Hamlet and Romeo and Juliet, all while dodging rotten tomatoes, hopefully, from displeased audience members. This was the golden age of literature, where even insults were delivered in iambic pentameter. Just don't ask Shakespeare to write a grocery list. The dude probably thought broccoli was a type of dragon. If we go again forward to the modern age, We get from typewriters to tweets and the return of poetry. The invention of the typewriter ushered in a new era of clattering keys and whiteout smeared manuscripts. Imagine Agatha Christie might have penned her legendary mysteries on one of these early machines, the rhythmic clack, clack echoing through her study as Hercule Poirot unmasked the killer. Then came the computer revolution, and with it, the rise of word processors. Gone were the days of whiteout and endless rewrites. Writers could edit, revise, and perfect their creations with a few keystrokes. Stephen King, known for his horror masterpieces, likely transitioned from his trusty typewriter to a computer at some point, his chilling tales now flowing from a digital keyboard. But the story doesn't end there. The internet has completely reshaped the writing landscape. We have email, allowing us to craft messages both professional and hilariously passive-aggressive. Social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube provide bite-sized bursts of creativity, from witty tweets to beautifully crafted captions. The novel itself has undergone a transformation, with the rise of e-readers and self-publishing platforms making it easier than ever to get your work out there. And don't forget the return of poetry, albeit in a new form. Slam poetry nights have become a vibrant scene, with poets using their voices to perform powerful and moving pieces. Even online, platforms like Button Poetry have found a new audience for the lyrical art form. The modern age of writing is a beautiful mess, a chaotic blend of long-form novels, social media quips, and the ever-evolving world of online content. It's a time of remixes and reimaginations, where traditional forms find new life in the digital age. So, the next time you fire off a text or spend hours crafting the perfect Instagram caption, remember, you're part of a long and fascinating history of human communication. A story that began with cave paintings and continues to evolve with every keystroke. Of course, this whirlwind tour only scratches the surface. Literary giants like Fyodor Dostoevsky with his psychological thrillers, Jules Verne with his fantastical adventures, Victor Hugo with his epic historical tales, and countless others have all left their mark on the world of writing. There's simply too much amazing literature to explore in just a few minutes. Yes, we are always on the run, and I know you have the attention span of a 2-year-old. The moral of the story? From cave paintings to cat videos, writing has come a long way. Poetry might not be the king of the literary jungle anymore, but it's still alive and kicking, finding new ways to express itself in the digital age. So next time you're crafting that witty tweet or that heartfelt Instagram caption, remember, you're part of a long and sometimes hilarious history of human communication.